Hey everyone, it's Matt with IDP Guys, here to tell you my top 5 IDP takeaways from week 3 of the NFL season. Before we get into that, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the excellent content we're putting out here on YouTube. So with that being said, let's get into those takeaways. Takeaway number 1, all of the hype we had for Kamren was validated this week, and the first time we've seen him in the regular season after that injury took him out of the first 2 weeks. He had 8 combined tackles. He played 87% of defensive snaps played. Of those, 60% were in the box, which is really the sweet spot where those safeties get a bunch of tackles. If for whatever reason he's available, you need to go pick him up. If you've been stashing him on your bench waiting for him to play him with confidence. He's going to be a top 20 defensive back play the rest of this year. Takeaway number 2, it's hard enough to find consistent defensive line play. It's even harder to get that from rookies. Take, for example, Aidan Hutchinson. Last week, he racked up 3 sacks, looked to be the absolute stud we expected from the second overall pick in this year's draft. What did we get this week? Absolutely nothing. If you have a more stable option, be starting them. Just know defensive linemen often take longer to get up to NFL speed. Just if you were expecting Aidan Hutchinson or even Trayvon Walker to put up consistent production, you're not going to get it yet. So if you have a more stable option, go that route moving forward until we can see that consistent production we also desperately want to see. Takeaway number 3, Jamin Davis is secretly putting up solid LB2 numbers every single week. He played 79% of defensive snaps played this last week, got 6 combined tackles and 2 sacks, which you can't really rely on those splash plays, but they're certainly nice when they're there. Cole Holcomb is still the stud on the Commanders, but Jamin Davis is getting the playtime and putting up the stats to warrant consideration for your LB2 or LB3. No one's really talking about it, so play him accordingly. Takeaway number 4, what kind of IDP analyst would I be if I did not talk about the Cardinals linebacker core every single week? We're starting to get some clarity there. Zaven led the Cardinals linebackers with 73% of defensive snaps played. He turned that into 4 combined tackles. If you were expecting any Cardinals linebacker to be putting up LB1 numbers, you are going to be sadly mistaken. We know Isaiah Simmons has sort of fallen out of IDP favor. He's continued that for yet another week. If you have to start someone from the Cardinals, from the linebacker core, it's going to be Zaven Collins. Just temper your expectations to maybe LB3 production until we see a drastic change there in Arizona. And finally, takeaway number 5, Richie Grant is finally the stud we wanted him to be last year. He had 7 combined tackles, which is already a great day. And then he had that game-sealing interception. Loved the splash play. He played 100% of the defensive snaps for the Falcons. We know last year left a bad taste in our mouth with Richie Grant, but this is 3 straight weeks where he's putting up studly numbers. You can trust him moving forward, which is kind of crazy to say after where he left us last year. So go ahead, pick him up with confidence, start him. He's going to be a top 20 player the rest of this year. So there you have it, my top 5 IDP takeaways from week 3 of the NFL season. Be sure to head on over to idpguys.org so you can get more excellent content like this so you can dominate your IDP leagues. As I said earlier, I'm Matt, I work for IDP Guys, and I will see you next week.